This is a stimulus and Social Security update. Got some important updates to share with you. The House has officially passed its first bill, and the IRS announces that there will be an average of $1,232 stimulus payments going out from the American Rescue Plan. I'll let you know who's eligible for that. And the House GOP, now in majority, they're saying that they might cut Social Security and Medicare. I'll give you the details on that and some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video if you want to get a check for $200. Let's get into it right here. So House GOP passes repeal of IRS funding boost as its first bill in the majority. So after a week of trying to figure out who's going to be Speaker of the House, looks like the GOP has passed its first bill defunding the IRS, which the Democrats want to fund more of the IRS. I'm going to talk more about that later on in the video and play a video clip. But first, stimulus update. IRS announces average payments of $1,232 sent to millions. Here's who's getting them. So these are retroactive stimulus payments pretty much. On Friday, January 6th, the IRS announced it was sending out $14.8 billion in refunds. This money is being distributed as a result of the American Rescue Plan Act, and the COVID-19 relief bill entitled people to refunds due to a change in some important rules. So we all remember the American Rescue Plan. It gave out $1,400 stimulus checks. Also, one of the things that happened was the unemployment. So why is the IRS sending out the money? Basically, when the American Rescue Plan Act was signed into law by President Biden in March of 2021, one of the key provisions of the COVID-19 relief bill involved including some unemployment benefits from taxation, specifically up to $10,200 of unemployment benefits paid out in 2020. So if you remember, back in the day, the $10,200 were excluded from taxes. So new rules have come out saying that if a spouse was married jointly and they were under $150,000 in income, then they were eligible to get this money. So on January 6th, IRS indicated that they had conducted its review and corrected 14 million returns, which is now resulting in refunds totaling $14.8 billion being sent to 12 million people. So who's eligible for this? So if you got unemployment compensation in 2020, you paid taxes on it, then you're getting this money back. So those are basically the qualifications, and the average checks were around $1,232. So some retroactive stimulus pay there. Wasn't expecting that. And then Social Security's largest bump since 1982 comes with much more in 2023. So I'm going to go over the different changes. We all know that the COLA is going up to 8.7%. with the first payments coming out tomorrow for solely Social Security recipients. But there's also falling Medicare premiums. There is, so basically it's declining to decline of about 3% in Medicare premiums. And then cooling inflation. With inflation going down, that 8.7%, you're going to make a little bit more money from that as opposed to 2022, which you got screwed in. 2023 might be a better year. And retirees are hopefully in for a much better year. So basically that's it for the Social Security boost, according to this article. Speaking of Social Security, Republicans signal cuts to Social Security, Medicare with new House majority. So the House has been taken by the Republicans, switched from the last election. They have figured out the Speaker, and a few Republicans have announced that they will cut or plan to do some type of changes to Social Security and Medicare. So here are the specific quotes right here from Representative Michael Waltz, Republican from Florida. I'm all for a balanced budget, but we're not going to do it on the backs of our troops and our military. If we really want to talk about debt and spending, it's entitlements programs. So entitlement programs would be Medicare, Social Security, and then also what Chip Roy, Republican, said here is what we have been very clear about is we're not going to touch the benefits that are going to people relying on benefits under Social Security and Medicare. But We all have to be honest about sitting at the table and figuring out how we're going to make those work, how we're going to deal with defense spending, and how we're going to deal with non-defense discretionary spending. So, yeah, it's been a debate that's been going on for a while here. Another quote right here: these types of cuts, or actually this is from a Democrat defending Medicare and Social Security. These type of cuts would harm communities and families across the United States who are already struggling with inflation and the rising cost of living. They put support for our veterans, law enforcement, small businesses, and military families at risk. So, curious, do you think there's going to be cuts to Social Security? We've heard a few Republicans in the past, excuse me, say that they want to cut it. Not completely gut it, but do some cuts. So I'll keep you updated on that, on Social Security cuts and Medicare cuts. House GOP passes bill to slash IRS funding in first act of Congress. So back to what I spoke about at the top of the video, basically the IRS funding to have around 80 billion or 80 to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. The Republicans passed a bill to cut that, to not give any more funding towards the IRS, basically going against what was passed in the Inflation Reduction Act, which was to boost IRS funding. So we're going to see what happens. It passed in the House. Probably not going to pass in the Senate because the Democrats still have control in the Senate. Take a look at what Jim Jordan has to say about that and a few other important issues.
All right. It is a great pleasure to bring in one of the leaders who helped to mold this new agenda. Joining me now, our good friend, Congressman Jim Jordan from Ohio, who is the chair of the Judiciary Committee and author of Do What You Said You'd Do, Fighting for Freedom in the Swamp. Well, Mr. Jordan, you've done what you said you were going to do, so that's one good place to start. But,
yeah,
I think, prosperity, growth solves a lot of problems. And I think the reforms, the conservative reforms, all the reforms, give us a tremendous step in the right direction. Go ahead, talk to us about this story, please.
Well, Larry, first of all, your monologue was right on target. You can't lead militarily, you can't lead diplomatically if you first don't lead economically. And you can't lead economically when government continues to grow and grow and grow and stifle the private sector, which is what we've seen. That's why this rules package, understand, this rules package is designed to do one fundamental thing. Stop bills like that $1.7 trillion monstrosity that passed 16 days ago. Stop things like that from happening. That's why there's got to be 72 hours to see it. We actually think transparency helps limit the size of government, helps focus on the things that are going to grow our economy. So 72 hours, single subject, germaneness to when you're going to offer an amendment, it's got to be focused on that piece of legislation, which is single subject. That's all good stuff, and it's designed to put us in a position so we don't have legislation like that, which I actually think hurts our economy in the long run. And the final thing I'll say on this is why it's important to keep government small, because when government's small, liberty and freedom are greater. And right now we have a government that's growing like crazy and being used to go after we, the people, the weaponization of it. That's what this 118th Congress is about, stopping that and stopping the uncontrollable growth in federal spending.
Jim Jordan, you were on this show. I don't know if you were on last week, but the week before, you and I had this long conversation about the need for regular order, not only regular order in the budget, which is 12, a budget resolution and 12 appropriation bills, which you also talked about on the floor of the House last week when you nominated McCarthy. But all matters, there should be regular order. The committee system is being strengthened by these conservative reforms. That's the way I read it. And regular order and accountable and transparent, that's a really good thing, which the Democrats have blocked these many years.
Yes, and it involves the whole country, because then every single member of Congress representing 800,000 people in their respective district gets to weigh in via the committee, then on the House floor, time to look at it, time to put it together. That's what self-government and representative government is all about. We haven't had that under Democrats. It all gets decided by Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden. That's not how it's supposed to work. And as I said on the House floor last week, in the history of our great country, only about 12,000 individuals have had the privilege of serving in the United States Congress. Each of them want to weigh in and be a part of the decision-making process. That's how it's supposed to work. So let's focus on that. That's what this rules package is all about, that we're going to pass later tonight. And then, as you said it, I think in your monologue, then we're going to get about getting rid of the 87,000 IRS agents who are a further infringement and attack on Americans' liberty. So that's what we're doing on the first day after we had the speaker election last weekend.
So let's just focus on that. Legislation to rescind the $80 billion for the 170,000 IRS agents. Will that come tonight?
Yep. That's being debated and voted on this evening. We will pass that. I actually hope a few Democrats join us. We'll wait and see. But I know every single Republican is going to vote for that because we know that this is a further weaponization of government. Those agents, we know who they're coming after. They're coming after the small business owner. They're coming after conservatives. That's why we want this legislation passed on the very first day.
Now, let's talk about the weaponization resolution or the weaponization rule. You're going to chair the Judiciary Committee. Mr. Comer is going to chair the Oversight Committee. You got a lot of work to do on the FBI, on the intelligence agencies, on the Hunter Biden laptop. Who knows what you got work to do? Can you give us a little hint there? How are you going to start? When are you going to start? Where's this going to go?
Well, in our committee, I think we're going to focus on two issues. I think front and center of the Judiciary Committee, the border that's no longer a border. And then, of course, the political nature of the Justice Department. And there's going to be a select subcommittee that's going to focus on that. We've had 14 whistleblowers come talk to us about how political that place has become. We know it goes further than just there. It's the collusion between big government, big tech, big media. We've seen that now with the Twitter files and what they've exposed. So we're going to look at all that, because the first step in stopping it is to get the facts, get the truth to the American people. And we have an oversight obligation. We have a duty to do this kind of investigative work. And we're going to do it consistent with the Constitution, but we're going to do it aggressively.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the Republicans having majority in the House is a good thing? What do you think about the IRS defunding? Let me know your thoughts on all that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much for all of your support and for hanging out with me for another day. Don't forget, I'm giving out $200 checks to my subscribers. I have details of how you can sign up down in the description below. Just click below this video and you can read the description of how you can sign up to potentially win those $200 checks. And right after this video, I'm actually going to see my doctor about my ankle. Starting to walk a little bit more with the boot. I tried walking without the boot, still a little shaky, but we'll see what he says. Hopefully I'll be able to walk much better soon. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos of my other channels, click right up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.